each other. But what the Clippers have that the Lakers do not have close to is three. If I can't get it in, I'm not getting it. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody, to the Good Shepherd, episode 23. After 4.5 months, we finally get NBA basketball. Now, the appetizer last night, Zion versus the Jazz, essentially. The Pelicans have a lot of talent. We know that. And they get up leads over other teams in the association, and we've seen that all throughout the year. But their inexperience haunts them. And they did last night. They're up double digits against the Jazz in the second half. They lose by 2. That's to be expected. The main takeaway from last night's doubleheader is the Lakers beat the Clippers by 2. And it's the Clippers that should be feeling a hell of a lot better than the Lakers. And my message is this. If you're a Lakers fan, you should be nervous. The Lakers had their whole roster that's going to be with them in Orlando. Okay? The Clippers were missing 2 of their best 4 players, and they lost by 2. AD played a monster game. LeBron was not great, but he did show LeBron-like numbers and LeBron-like productivity in the fourth quarter. They combined for 50 points. AD has 16 made free throws, 5 less than the entire Clippers team combined. So it wasn't really an off night for that twosome, if you will. Now, on the flip side of that, Kawhi and PG-13, they were really good too. Kawhi struggled down the stretch. PG-13 picked up the slack, but he looked like PG-13 of old, the 2018-19 version, first half of the season PG-13, the guy that was a legit MVP contender. Legit. Like, could have very well won that MVP had he played that way throughout the entire 18-19 season. Now, here's the big problem. The Clippers were absent of Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell. Lou Williams, against the Warriors, last season in the playoffs, 2 30-point, 10-assist games. That had never happened before for any reserve player in the history of the association. Lou Williams did it twice in a 9-day time frame. That is how good Lou Williams is. And that was, again, just last season against the defending back-to-back Golden State Warriors who were entirely healthy at that particular time. Montrezl Harrell, mind you, is arguably the 6th man of the year this season. So the Clippers have 2 of the best bench players in the entire league. Montrezl Harrell is playing for a contract. And that is always a dangerous thing if you are an opposing team. I don't think Kawhi and PG-13 played all that particularly good. What I also know is they will, to the largest degree, more than any other team, neutralize the monster, the behemoth that is LeBron and AD. But when all you have in addition to LeBron and AD is Kyle Kuzma as your 3rd best player, a guy that has regressed significantly since his rookie year. I know the ball is not going to be in his hands as much because you have LeBron and AD, but in terms of facilitating, in terms of being able to be that spot-up shooter, he's still too inconsistent. I know he has moments, I know he has spurts, but he's not a Lou Williams, he's not a Montrezl Harrell. He's not going to be an all-star caliber player like those 2 guys are. It's just that simple. The Clippers have a lot more talent. When you lose by 2 points and you do not have your 3rd and 4th best player, and it's not like your 3rd or 4th best player aren't really good NBA players. We're talking about a historically, significantly great 6th man of the year in Lou Williams, among which Jamal Crawford, the 2 greatest bench players I've ever seen. I don't hold Hondo Havlicek in that conversation, Mikhail, because I look more of those guys as starters, by the way, just FYI. And you also have Montrezl Harrell. Many people will look at him and say he is a mini Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman is arguably pound for pound the greatest rebounder in existence. That is what the Clippers were missing, and the Lakers still won by just 2 points. My question for you, is last night's 2-point loss for the Clippers a telling sign, or is it just an aberration? Who do you have as the favorite coming out of the West? That is the question I have for you. Comments below. I'll read them. I'll get back. I want to thank you very much for taking the time to watch, taking the time to take in some NBA knowledge and insight. I appreciate y'all. If you like what you saw, make sure you subscribe. There's going to be a lot more NBA content coming to you, some NHL, some MLB, and ultimately NFL come September. Guys, have a great weekend. Ladies, have a great weekend. Be safe, be healthy, and make sure you subscribe. Thank you.